June 12, 2025. Nigeria remembers the martyrs of democracy, those who bled and died for the right to vote, to speak, to be heard. President Bola Tinubu stood before the nation once again, offering a passionate Democracy Day speech. He spoke of freedom, justice, and national pride. But beneath the surface of those eloquent lines lies a different Nigeria, one that is bruised, betrayed, struggling to reconcile the president's words with the people's reality. Democracy thrives on persuasion, not repression, he said. Yet, during the 2023 general elections, Lagos, his stronghold, witnessed a terrifying contradiction. Voters were beaten, journalists were attacked, ethnic profiling ran wild. Some Nigerians lost their lives simply for refusing to vote for Tinubu. Polling unit in Alimosho, Surulere and parts of Lekki became danger zones. Voters who didn't support the APC were told to stay home or face consequences. What kind of democracy demands blood for ballots? The scars are still fresh, the silence deafening, and today, as it speaks of democratic ideals, we ask, where was that conviction when innocent citizens lay wounded and silenced in his name? In his speech, Tinubu reminded us that he inherited a battered economy. True, but let's not forget that this is the same man who proudly told the world, "I made Buhari president." He was not a bystander. He was a kingmaker, a key architect of the last 80 years. So when fuel subsidies ballooned, when insecurity spread like wildfire, when the naira collapsed, and when corruption was ignored at the top, it wasn't a stranger's legacy inherited. It was partially his own. Democracy is about taking responsibility, not shifting blame. Let's talk about the 15 trillion naira coastal highway project, a massive undertaking in an era of hunger, strikes, and economic despair. Who benefits? Why the secrecy about it? And why evict thousands of Lagosians overnight to pave the way for a beachfront legacy? Is this democracy or dynasty building through infrastructure? When the poor can't afford Gari, but the government can afford mega projects with mystery contractors. The priorities are no longer national, they are personal. The drama in Rivers State tells another story. Former Governor Wike, now FCT Minister, has turned democracy into theater, obstructing governance, installing loyalists, using federal backing to destabilize the state. Now, the federal government imposed a state of emergency, not in Borno or Zamfara, but in Rivers, a peaceful or average state. What kind of democracy threatens its own states with federal power plays? What kind of leadership rewards Wike's arrogance instead of checking it? Tinubu said Nigeria is for all, not for a few. Yet, one by one, opposition politicians are jumping ship, not for ideology, but for immunity. Defections to the APC have become survival strategies, not political convictions. Some were threatened with arrest, some lost access to funds, some simply give up. Because in this Nigeria, power is monopolized and opposition is punished. This is not democracy. This is a Cold War dressed in agbada. And let's not forget Nnamdi Kanu, still held in DSS detention, despite repeated court orders for his release. Despite negotiations from top and responsible Nigerians for his release. If courts can no longer free a man, if law has no weight over executive power, then democracy has become dictatorship with a ballot box. How about Dele Farotimi, who was illegally arrested and thrown into prison for weeks? Till today, nobody has apologized to him for speaking the truth. June 12 was about liberation, not selective justice. How can a man who fought for MKO Abiola's mandate now oversee the suppression of a people's voice? Is this poetic irony or political hypocrisy? To be clear, Tinubu is bold, He's decisive, inherited a burning house and chose to remodel it with fire-resistant brick. But speeches are not legacy. Declarations are not deliverables. Democracy is not drama. It is deliberate, incisive, inclusive, and accountable. So, Mr. President, we heard your words, but Nigerians remember your actions more. The violence of 2023, the silence of our impunity, the excesses of the elites, the burden of the poor. The soul of democracy is not in the speeches of leaders, it is in the dignity of the led. Until every Nigerian can vote without fear, live without hunger, and speak without punishment, June 12 remains a dream deferred. Happy Democracy Day, Nigeria. May truth prevail where rhetorics fail. This has been a deep dive into Tinubu's 2025 Democracy Day address, cutting through the noise to examine the real issues. If this resonated with you, don't just scroll. Speak up, like, share, subscribe, leave us a comment below. Enjoy the movement for an informed electorate. This is Fix Africa News Network.